Električni avtomobili so zagotovo en velik del prihodnosti, ampak vsa ta fama, ki nastaja okrog njih, se včasih zdi malo nepotrebna, vsaj v primerjavi z vsemi tovornjaki in avtobusi, še posebej tistimi v mestnem središču.
Večina stvari, ki se kot tehnološke napredne inovacije vidijo v avtomobilih, najprej zaživijo v tovornjakih, avtobusih in tudi v dostavnikih prej. In tudi z elektriko bo tako, kar ima tudi največji smisel. Z okoljskega stališča bojo dostavniki, avtobusi in tovornjaki v mestnem jedru največ pripomogli k manjši poluciji zraka, če bodo električni.
No, poglejmo v Hanover, kjer poteka sejem gospodarskih vozil.
Minuli teden je torej zaznamoval hanoverski salon gospodarskih vozil. Na kratko lahko povzamemo, da je bilo videti predvsem veliko izrazito futurističnih samovozečih konceptov. Na primer, Renaultov koncept samovozečih dostavnih vozičkov, ki se lahko tudi povezujejo v konvoje, ali pa Mercedes-Benzova vizija urbanega transporta, ki temelji na električnih rolkah. Te bi se lahko naokoli vozile tudi same, a je seveda bolj smiselno, če nanje poveznemo ali potniško kabino ali pa tovorno karoserijo. Poklicni vozniki tovornjakov pa so verjetno z največjim cmokom v grlu pogledali Vero, Volvov samovozeči tovornjak, kajti ta zanje sploh nima več predvidene kabine. Tu je tudi pogon na vodikove gorivne celice, recimo Hyundaijev tovornjak, pa tudi Volkswagenov električni Crafter, ki tako dobiva elektriko iz vodika. Francoski Alstom pa je istočasno na železniške tire postavil prvi vlak s pogonom na tovrstno energijo, serijski, ne konceptni. In prav s tem serijskim izdelkom bi bil čas, da se podamo na realna tla in vam predstavimo, kaj so bližnji trendi. Preselimo se torej v Berlin. Tam smo dve najbolj aktualni tehnologiji spoznali celo v praksi.
Berlinsko letališče Tegel med svetovnimi popotniki ne velja za kako posebej napredno ali pa vsaj turistom prijazno letališče. A roko na srce, že leta 2012 bi ga moralo nadomestiti Berlinu vsekakor bolj ustrezno veliko letališče Brandenburg. No, takrat so njegovo odprtje odložili za komaj nekaj tednov. Zdaj pa se pričakuje, da bodo prva Lufthansina letala poletela šele leta 2020. To pa je v bistvu dobra novica za nas, saj lahko to največje gradbišče na svetu uporabljamo mi za testiranje zemeljskih vozil. Tokrat za testiranje tovornjakov iz Münchna.
Platooning is saving fuel by reducing the distance between two or more trucks. So basically the first vehicle is driven manually and the other vehicles follow automatically. First of all, for platooning you need sensors to detect the preceding vehicle and other road users around. We're doing this by camera, LiDAR and radar. Next, we have to detect the road, so we are gonna need a camera and some other informations like map information. And the most important part is the communication between the vehicle. One vehicle is able to tell the other what it's gonna do next, so this really decreases your reaction time and enables you to drive at short distances. If the driver takes his hands off the steering wheel, the vehicle would continue to go automatically, but the platoon will be disconnected. So the distance is increased automatically. If the communication between the vehicles collapses, we still have an emergency braking system in the background.
Danes sem torej tovornjak vozil tudi sam in prepričan sem, da bom s tem pri mojih dveh sinovih požel kar precej navdušenja. Tovornjakarstvo današnje dobe je nekaj povsem druga, kot je bilo nekoč, ko so bili šoferji svobodni. Danes so vozniki tovornjakov del strogo nadzorovane mašinerije.
In lahko smo prepričani, da bo konvojska vožnja močno vplivala na samo tovornjakarstvo.
One big part of our project is to study the impact of platooning systems and automation onto the driver. How their profession may change by the availability of platooning and automated driving. How their requirements will change, what training programs they maybe need in the future, and of course how even their image and identity as truck drivers will change. Another thing they are doing is neurophysical examinations. If you think of being in a following vehicle, most parts of your field of view will be covered by the preceding vehicle, and the driving task is performed by the machine as well. So if they start to get weary or bored or start looking around somewhere they're not supposed to, we're going to see that, and as all the data are linked to specific driving situations, we can improve our system that way.
Drugi močan trend v transportnem poslu je uvedba električnih pogonov.
To run an electric vehicle within your fleet, that's not too complicated. But what if it's 10, 50 or even 200 electric vehicles? It has quite an effect on the cost of electricity when you are charging and in which amount you are charging. And to avoid so-called peaks, we then come up with a charging management for the entire fleet that allows them to do this in the most cost-efficient way. Imagine you have a fleet with 200 trucks in your depot. Of course, you do not have to charge them all in the same hour. So to charge such a truck takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours if you charge them with 150 kilowatts. And you charge them after another in groups. And so throughout the entire time of the night you charge the entire fleet. In addition to that, we are investigating large energy capacitors where we put a lot of batteries in a container and fill this throughout the day with electric energy and take that in addition to actually charge the trucks at night.
Toda pri teh zelenih tovornjakih sploh ne gre samo za prijaznost okolju, ampak tudi za nove poslovne prednosti.
We are actually looking for customers where the e-truck can really play out its advantages because it's locally emission-free and it's very silent. So different from operation with diesel trucks, you can run these already early in the morning, let's say at 4 o'clock. And at 4 o'clock the streets are empty, so they can deliver and they're even out of the city before the rush hour starts. And that will give our customers a big commercial advantage, but also for the cities it will be a good step forward because a lot of deliveries and trucks are already out before the rush hour starts. Another major thing is that e-trucks are locally emission-free. No emissions directly from the vehicle. So you can drive with them even into industrial buildings and deliver the goods right to where they are needed, for example on a production line. You do not have to leave them outside and then bring them with a forklift into the production. In this way, you save a transportation step. If, as a logistic company, you think about these opportunities and you think them further, you come to the point where even though electric trucks today are, of course, more expensive, out of the transportation concept, you can generate for yourself a true competitive advantage.